Hi there, my name is Rory, and welcome to my presentation about my chosen artist. Today I will be speaking about Peter Deligdish. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He otherwise is better known for Peter Draws. The way I found him is through his YouTube channel, and that's where he posts most of his content and artworks and things in speed arts, which I will be playing in the background right now. So yeah, first of all, I talk about his style. His style is very fluid and abstract. He doesn't necessarily have one style. I guess abstract is a style, as he creates most, if not all, of his artworks just from scratch, from his head, and he just draws as he goes. Everything that he does is just random. He might have a theme or just an object in his mind which he will base his art upon, but other than that, all of his art is not pre-planned and he just goes with the flow. And you can see that by looking at his artworks. He's just drawing straight from his mind. Nothing is set. Next, I'll talk about shape. His drawings are not really defined by shape. Everything is very round, smooth, flowing. Sometimes he uses straight lines and alternates between black and white, if that makes sense. But most of his stuff is not really defined by any sort of shape that he will reuse, because everything that he does is just different, pretty much. And because his art style is not really set, it's always changing and evolving. He used to do a lot of mandalas. I think that's what you call them, the circles with all the pretty patterns and stuff. And those are obviously a circular shape, but other than that, the shape changes because all of his stuff is abstract. The next thing is color. He uses very little color. In most of his artworks, it's just black and white pen. Sometimes he will mix one or two colors in with the black and white. Say he will do black and white and orange, or black and white and blue. Sometimes he will do a drawing, and if he does do it with color, it will only be with 2 or 3 colors. I've noticed recently that as I've been following him on Instagram and he posts his pictures there, he's been exploring more color with crayons and pencils and just different art mediums. But the majority of his work is just, a maximum of 3 colors, if not just black and white. That leads me on to my next point, which is his technique, which is because he uses fountain pens and a lot of homemade pens that people make and then send to him in the mail. And because he uses fountain pens, he has to use the ink. And he uses lots of different types of inks, but mainly it's just black ink, and sometimes he will use different colored ink. But yeah, his technique is to use the fountain pens to get the different thin lines and sharp lines and broader lines and all of that smooth flowing stuff that looks extremely nice on paper. But it's not just limited to fountain pens. He does use homemade pens. In one of his most recent videos, someone melted down a milk carton and a 2-liter drink bottle and turned that into a fountain pen, and he used that to create an artwork, as you can see on the screen right now. And in the past, he has also been a bit more creative and used things such as bananas and 2-minute noodles to create his artworks, which is another reason why I love him so much. He just does what he wants to. He creates art out of whatever he wants to, and because it's so abstract, it still looks good. It doesn't have to be a face or a landscape or something. He can do what he wants and it will still look great. So my next point is line. Everything in his artworks pretty much is created by line. Line and point are the main things that he uses. Line to obviously create the outlines, but he also does a lot of cross-hatching, which is done with line, just different variations of thicknesses and distance apart. And he also does a lot of stippling. His work with stippling is amazing and really detailed, which he uses to create shading and form. So my next point is form. Because he is an abstract artist, he doesn't really have a form or a constant form in his artworks. He only works with 2D art. very rarely does 3D artworks. When he uses stippling, he will create shading and shadows and highlights, which gives each artwork a bit of form, but he doesn't use stippling in all of his artworks. Some examples that I can think of is in Smoke. He uses stippling to show us the form of smoke a lot, and sometimes in rocks or mountains. But that's about it. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This is my presentation about Peter Draws and why I love him so much. Hopefully you can see some of the amazing art that he has done as I show it on the screen. And that's about it. Thanks.